Hey, this is Steve.
This is Neil.
This is Phil.
And this is Alex.
Hey, so we actually got two Canadians in here. That's Philippe. Phil, do you like Phil or Philippe?
Phil works.
Phil and Alex. Alex is actually the blog writer for Mysidia Post. Great blogs and stuff. Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Celebrity in our midst.
Celebrity here. I think his blog posts actually get more views than our our shit here. So he's better than us.
Yeah.
So
accurate, yeah.
So that means so now what we're really asking for is we're asking for Alex to make sure he links us to his blog.
So you need to plug us.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Alex, if you can put your mic a little bit closer to your mouth so we can hear your beautiful voice.
Eat it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
Is that better?
Suck on it. Just suck on it.
Oh.
Like you can lick it almost. Shove it right up your mouth.
Okay.
All right. This will be
Is that
edited
better?
out.
Phil, you too. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably want to
Okay.
go.
Okay,
Go
so
closer.
anyways.
You want to go closer too, Phil.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Really get in there, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is live from Midgar. This is episode 40. We have beautiful people here, and we're going to talk about the draft and some of our experiences with the new opus and what we're going to play constructed and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited to talk with Alex because I know Alex has written a lot of stuff, especially on that wall previously.
Yes.
Sadly, he did not pull it in the draft and play it and show us what's up. But we'll talk about that today. We had the draft today.
Yep.
First place went to Peter Kim. He recently qualified to the Nationals. He's been kicking some ass here. Very well. He went completely undefeated. Beat Miles Greb in the finals towards the end for his last match. Second place was Andrew Pierce, and third was Miles Greb.
Tiebreakers.
Because of tiebreakers. So good job to all three of those guys. They're not here right now, but they got beautiful Rydia foils. So
Miles will be stoked because all he's been complaining about or begging for this last week is to make sure that he could get his three Rydias so he could play a deck with Rydia in it. So now he's got his three. So
yeah, he's got his three: two foils and two non-foils.
Foils and two non-foils. Yeah, because him and Andrew, share cards.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Right.
So, anyways, for you two, I know Canada has some issues with the Opus 9 release, and this was your first experience with Opus 9. You guys weren't able to do the pre-release or anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't get a pre-release last week, and we just got our boxes last night. So I opened a box this morning, and had read all the cards, but when we were actually playing them, we were surprised about how some of them worked out compared to what our initial thoughts might have been.
Definitely.
I'm sure like the GIS is one of them.
Yes.
Begone, or whatever is one of those. A lot of people were a little bit confused about how they play. And we talked about that during right after our pre-release.
I never even saw him resolve, and I played against him multiple times, but it's actually pretty tricky to get damage on him less than his power.
Yeah, because you're just trying to chump block with him or anything like that,
Yeah. At least you guys didn't have to deal with the tapping. Can Larsa tap to prevent damage?
Yeah, a lot of people had issues with that.
We saw 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah.
But,
So, anyways, tell us about your draft decks.
So I ended up drafting Ice Water, and it was kind of a weird pod. There was a lot of
all 3 of us were in the same pod, FYI.
Like right next to each other, weren't we?
Yeah, pretty much. No, you were in the
Did
corner.
You guys all suck?
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
Our pod legitimately, I don't know what is up with our pod. I don't think our pod had any power placement at all. Because, Miles ended up 3rd and at the final table, but he was not stoked about what he got.
Yeah. No, and he was in 3 elements, I believe, which is easier in this opus, but still.
Yeah. So it looks like Alex actually has a picture of his deck that he did. If you actually send it to Edward, he might be able to post it right behind us or something, or in front of us, or cut screen or something. I don't know. I'm giving him more work to do.
Yeah,
I feel like a dick, but
at worst, we can link it in the YouTube description.
Just link it. It's like, hey, look at this while we're talking about it.
Oh, that's perfect. You can put a link to the Mysidia Post article that you're going to write on it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to talk a little bit about draft. I ended up drafting Ice Water, and I didn't have a ton of heroes and legends. I did have a Rosa, but I also had 2 Emperor Gestals, and
that's good.
That was ridiculous, and the fact that he breaks himself and you play another one. But I also had just a lot of really solid value plays.
Wait, hold on. Is it any dark card?
No, it's 5 or less cost, so he can't actually play anything in the set.
Is it dark forward, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was
about
like,
to say, he grabs himself. Since
he
when?
plays himself. What?
No, yeah. So he plays. He just you pay his cost of breaking him, and then or putting him into the break zone, and then you can just play another one. Or
I'll pay 5 to play. Okay.
Yeah. Well, his break cost is, or his action ability is free. It's just dull and put in the break zone.
Yeah.
So 5 to break something is a pretty good deal.
Yep.
So also obviously had the 5 CP Laguna is just an absolute monster at 8K. Like that could have been fine at 7K. The card that I spoiled, Airborne Trooper, was was one of my best cards on the day.
Yeah, sure
because
was.
the value was just so good. I actually went 3-1 with this deck, so I just missed out on the top 3. So it was a good deck. Sid Alstein, the backup, is very, very fluctuating. Like it was good. It was winning me matches, and then it would be this absolute dead card in my hand. So if I have any advice on that card, it's that don't hold on waiting for them to reduce their hand size. You're either going to have a chance to use it or not. So don't waste that CP. Use it to play other things. Also, Numu, the kind of utility ice backup, you pay an extra ice and you can dull free something. Came in handy quite a bit. But you guys can see the list at some point here, and it's
we're going to show it.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
you guys
solid.
can look at it.
Yeah.
The Sid Alstein, I heavily agree with what Alex is saying. It's one of those things where there's not a lot of discard currently in the Opus 9 set, right? There's I think UK is the only one that can force discards, I believe.
Yeah.
Is there any
so,
other
yeah.
discard mechanics in Opus 9?
I don't think so.
From the top of my head, I can't think of any.
Mog.
Okay.
It's not really.
That's
I just says yeah.
That's like self-destruction kind of stuff.
Self-discard.
Yeah, well, when I'm talking about it too, it's more like in Constructed, obviously you're going to have a game plan for it, but in Limited, you're going to play these matches where people are throwing away their hand because they're trying to play out lots of forwards and they're trying to blitz you to 6 damage, and you're going to have chances to use it, and the fact that it's EX burst doesn't hurt either, but it's just something you can't force either. Cause,
it's bad. It's bad and good, and it has these things because of how great the ability is, but it's reliant on what your opponent is doing. You can't control the pace of it. That's why in Constructed, you can control the pace, right? You can force the discards to happen, and you're calling those shots, and then when you know that you got them down to 0 or 2, whatever you want to do, you can play that Sid Alstein. You're playing it on your terms, right? But here, without any discards other than the UK or Uke or however you pronounce it, it's heavily reliant on what your opponent is doing, and therefore that's why that card just depends on how your opponent plays. That's why it can be really, really good or really, really shitty.
Yeah.
What about you? How was your draft?
I built this Mono Earth deck list, and it was really good. It was just a bunch of really big forwards, and I built that, I guess, because I thought there wasn't a lot of board wipes and a lot of removal in the set, and actually probably one of my favorite cards that worked really well into the big forwards idea was Mist Dragon, and I just used it as a Titan, and I also used it to stop a Porom grabbing a summon. But because people had to party attack over my big 10Ks and stuff.
Gareth.
So I just,
Where did you get 10Ks?
Gareth.
Gareth, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
4
so
cost
I had
8K,
I
then
think
if
I
you
had,
have 5 Earth forwards against 2,000
exactly.
or 5
Just
five
characters,
characters.
So I think I had
Yeah.
7 of those in my deck.
What?
And so I always had 3 out, and they had to party attack into them. So when I could just block one of their guys and dull the other one for nothing, it was that got me so much value.
Well, yeah, I remember now. After you drafted, you were talking about your deck, and you were trying to play 5 cores or something like that.
That was really good, actually, because I played so many King Reguses, and so I searched it early, and just to play it down turn 2 or 3 is a 2-drop, and then it traded with all these 4 CPs, and I would take that trade all day. So that was really good early. Just push early damage, or they're going to block it with a 4-drop or a 3-drop 7K.
Okay. So it ended up being pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it worked.
Okay.
No.
So bad advice from me then, because I was like, no, you take those cores out, you just run 3.
So pretty much I wanted them to die almost, and I could just keep playing them, and I kept getting value out of them.
I mean, I played against Jeff Curran, and he had the same thing. He had 5 or 6 cores in his deck too, and he just played them and was like, I don't care if they, it's a 2 cost that I can search up. I don't care if I lose it or trade it. Go ahead.
How did Jeff do?
He went. He
Well,
didn't
actually,
do
hold
well.
on. I take it back. Maybe my advice was correct. What place did you get?
eighth,
ninth,
I want to say.
eighth,
Okay,
ninth.
out of
Something
12.
like
And
that.
Jeff Curran did.
He dropped, but he was
dropped.
03. He was 03.
Okay, so maybe my advice is correct. Don't run the course. They're not helping you guys much.
Jeff just he didn't have a whole lot of removal, and he ran into Azul. I had 2 Azuls, which,
Oh my God.
which made it really, really hard for people to get over.
Oh my god, it was
Yeah.
the worst.
I had 2 Azuls, 2 Beknamis, and 2 Ravnus. So, like, legit, occasionally I was like, I'll just dole 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, have fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
played last round. That was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
tough. They're
that
just
was
really
pretty crazy.
long, grindy games because
Yeah.
you have Azul, and there's just no way for Earth to kill it.
Yeah.
Who won that game?
I won.
He won.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
But-
got 1, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was that. Yeah, it was just he got to the point where legitimately like he'd just leave something up and I would just dole and I'd catch him. But like man, he'd play the 10Ks and
Yeah.
then he'd have to just party attack with 2 Garifs and be like, I've got a 16K party, and I'd be like, all right, well this one will get through. So he hits me for a couple points around, and I was just like, all right. Like the only thing I could really do was like I had 1 of each of the headhunters in my deck. So I had like 5 Earth cards total. That 1 was Rinok and 1 was Bagamon. And like legit, all I could do was like, please, dear God, let me get them in the proper order so that I can, I won 1 game because I was able to play against Jeff because I was able to play the get the 5K across the board and then push through for it. But like, yeah, it never lined up.
I think like all 3 games that we played, I played Mist Dragon 3 times, right?
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
had 3 in my deck, and I just played it like 3 times every game.
Yeah, you caught me with it where it was just I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna trade up, or he'd attack with the be like, okay, I party attack, be like I'll go ahead and block with the Gareth, and I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna go well. And he'd be like, I take no damage with my Mist Dragon. I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and lose that one forward, and just
I like Titan. I like
felt so bad.
I like Titan, but Mist Dragon's really cool. The utility's really cool.
Yeah.
So about those Mist Dragons, Philippe actually pulled a full art Mist Dragon.
Yeah. So
And then people started passing him the Mist Dragons because they're actually bad, I think, in draft. But somehow Philippe's like, no, they're great.
They're
Trust
great.
me,
They're
trust
great.
me.
Might
Let me
have been
get 8th with it.
might have been a little bit biased.
True summoner at heart.
My final opponent, and I feel bad. I completely am blanking on his name right now.
Classic Alex.
Had passed to him in the draft. Chaos Legend, Nail Legend. He got 2 Neros, 3 Gaiuses, and 2 Livias.
Oh, that's
Jacob.
That's
Yeah,
Jacob
Jacob.
Smith.
Jacob Smith. Yeah.
Awesome guy. Those were the 3 craziest matches of the night for me. But I just couldn't believe that many things had fallen into his.
That was one of the. I think the one thing I noticed about this draft, legitimately, is I don't know if it's box distribution or what it was, but like the 2 pods we had, because we had 2 6 pods because we had 12 people, the level of pack we had between the 2 pods was on different levels, like legitimately.
I'll take that as an excuse. I'll take that.
I mean,
It's acceptable.
I don't know. I mean, just looking at what everyone's decks had, I just didn't. There was definitely some of the lower synergy stuff. So like there was a little bit of the cadet stuff, but nobody had like OP plays. But like I said, like Jacob had the 14 engine in spades.
Yeah.
Wild. I mean, Pete's deck is ridiculous. I mean, just some of the cards that just showed up in the other pool were just, I don't know, it was weird.
Was Miles in whose pod was Miles and Andrew?
Ours.
Ours.
Miles
Yeah.
was in ours. Andrew was in the other pod.
Okay, all right, I see. So Miles did the best out of your guys' pool then.
Miles did the best
Okay.
out of our pool. Yep.
All right. Yeah, he was pretty consistent though. He was able to make his deck pretty consistent. I saw him actually passing Lusos and some of the legends and stuff so that he can focus on his lightning and ice, and I think and fire. I think those were the 3 colors he was running, and he was able to do that with the lightning and ice. He was able to get the Dougals. We're calling them Dougals, by
Yes.
the way.
The Dougals.
We
I've
all
been
understand
introduced to
this.
that.
Okay.
That caught on in Vancouver. We had one
Has it?
of our new players, Dan, came in and he called them Dougals because he listened to the podcast.
There you go.
Yes!
We're doing
Yes!
it. So we're calling them Dougals.
Keep spreading it, boys. Dougals.
So, anyways, he was able to play the Dougals, which is the ice one and the lightning one. The lightning one produces water. I'm sorry.
Water.
Lightning produces water.
Yeah.
The ice produces wind, and by doing that, he was able to. He wasn't splashing into water or wind. That wasn't his purpose. He was playing a lot of them so that he can play the Livias
Yes.
And he got a
Those were
bunch
good.
of Livias. I
Mm.
think he had 3 Livias or something like that. And
then-
he was guaranteed, and he did that and Varus. So he was doing that so he can launch the Varus and the Livias. And I thought it was a pretty clever deck
that.
that he
Yeah.
built.
Yeah.
Instead of splashing all over,
Yeah, I mean, they
he's
must
still
have
focused.
They must have come from the other side because I didn't pass a single Livia to him, or I would have taken it.
I never even saw one.
So, I
yet.
mean, that would have been-
No. He literally, when he opened it, there
He
was a
opened
Luso and
pack.
stuff. He would just take the
Yeah.
Livias. Like, fucking, I don't need this shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I thought about. I pulled pack 2. I think I opened a Yesmat, and I was like, I should have pivoted into wind, and I didn't.
10Ks.
And then pack 4, I opened a foil Yesmat, and I was like, God damn it, it felt so bad. But
Yizmat is. I don't know how good Yizmat is in draft.
I played against it twice. Both times, first time dropped and killed the 5K. Second time or 5 drop. Second time activated all characters, but both times I had removal for it. So never got to go again. And that was a pretty significant turn when you have they just spent 9 on something and then you were able to remove it.
Yeah, so there's enough removal, I think, in Opus 9 that Yizmat isn't, like, amazing in just, like, a draft setting.
I mean, what gets it? Seek?
So
Bahamut Zero, Seek
Bahamut
gets
Zero.
it.
Zalira.
Zalier.
Does
No, Zalira does not. Oh, sorry, it was Gestal that I used to get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah, Emperor Gestal will
Emperor
pop
Gestal.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's a few, but I mean, those are kind of few and, far
there's-
between because that's hero.
And you know what? Fusilier and Irvine,
you can do some
Irvine
stats. Yeah.
will get him.
seems decent though. If you can break a 5K when it enters, and you have a 10K body in draft,
I mean, that thing
or
wrecks
a 5
Azul.
CP.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, that thing wrecks the Azul strategy. Just pop.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
great against certain cards, right? But there's, I
Yeah.
think, enough removal that the Yizmat isn't as great. Like, Yizmat is really great if you have, like Yuri on the board, right? Because on your main phase 1, you say,
Exactly.
I'm going to untap, and then on the stack, you use the Yuri shit,
Yeah.
and then it untaps everything, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna.
So, like, that is really good.
Yeah.
Breaking 5 drops is really good, but how many, like, usable 5 drops are there in the limited? I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have the Yuri in limited, right? So I think Yizmat is heavily overcosted, and it's just very
Yeah.
mediocre.
It's a so-so
Yeah.
card.
It's high ceiling, low floor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other cards did you thought was significant in the limited environment? What card really stood out for you guys?
Lock was pretty incredible, and we're talking about the 4 CP ice backup because just the ability to name backup and get a backup. People were using it against me to color fix, and that was just a huge part of them setting up. Without having played that lock, they don't get their lightning backup, and they're not guaranteed to get it, but that just makes sure that they can kind of open up consistently and then start winning that value game, which was so huge in a lot of games for me to get to 3 backups, start playing airborne troopers, and kind of closing out games by playing more forwards. And all of a sudden, I'm using less resources than they are. So that one really stood out for me.
Yeah, Lock is. I really like that card. I like that card in any ice deck that isn't playing 3-drop
six
Lock.
engine.
I think that thing has to be in there. It's so good.
And that might be a deck. I know that there's so many more ways to get the 3 CP lock online now, but I mean, this is worth experimenting with for sure. After playing it, something I'm going to have to try.
I mean, it might even be worth it in the constructed deck to run a couple of each, because you've got Kuja and a couple of other removals. It might be worth to just play it down early, eat the thing as quickly as you can, and just and then you've got specials. I don't know.
Yeah, I keep on saying it. If you're going to play that backup, you can't run the 3 because
It's
you
really
wa-
tricky.
Yeah.
Because the 3, you want to play it as soon as possible, right?
Yeah,
you just get it
100%.
on there. You go in for the attacks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and
And
it's an aggressive card.
that lock will literally lock you out from playing the other
Yeah.
one, and it will slow down your plans.
Well, and when you play
Significantly.
the 3 CP lock, I mean, you're playing it maybe even 5-6 times because you have Setzer bringing it back, and you're constantly cycling it. You're using
Yeah.
Phoenix,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I think.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's a really
Fine.
good point. What about you, Phil, whatever.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Jesus.
You,
Canadian-
other
Canadian
Canadian.
Phil. No,
You,
how about we
other
go-
Canadian.
how about-
Speak.
We go non-monk Phil.
Non-monk Phil. You guys,
Non-monk Phil.
you guys have a hard time pronouncing my name.
Apparently we do. Phil, what about you?
I played against the Bergen, I want to say, the 3-drop 8K Fire Forward.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's blocked or is blocked, it deals 7K. That was really annoying to get around. Just most of my early things, if you drop it off one backup, most of my early things were 7k, and they would just instantly die. What's that Earth Ford 3-drop 7k when it blocks? You can grab Lilty. Yeah, I was so excited to use that, and I just never got an opportunity to use it against Bergen.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about those cards.
They're standard units, yeah.
Those Lilty, Selk, Yuke, Kavad, those 3 drops that do a little bit of something when they attack or block or stuff. They all have their little things, right? How do you guys feel about those 3-drop standard unit guys?
I feel like they all play worse than they read for me at first. But I think that Lilty probably has the most chance for success. Just being able to fish her forward's pretty powerful. Jeff Curran was running his deck where he had one in the break zone already, so he blocked and took the other one out and then played it and then blocked with it and then took the next one out and kind of just cycling it. And I don't know if that's like a game-winning strategy, but it's just kind of interesting that it
if it was like 2-drop, yeah, it would be.
Just, just how easy it was to get the value out of it. Like you can use that late in the game, and you can block and pull something out and reuse something big, like a light wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It actually. Actually, Lilty comboed really well with Mist Dragon. It's like Titan. Like I used the Titan ability.
Right. So the blocks.
Just blocked and then got a forward.
Well, look at that.
I mean, in constructed that can work pretty well. I mean, you've got, at least in constructed, you've got some other stuff. So
you got Carbuncle, right?
Yeah, it's 8 or a 9K, or you make it bigger, and that that cycle. You've got the Vanille cards, you've got these other Cabrina cards that just don't want to die. So one more card that can allow you to shuffle either those cards back in or to keep the Lilty cycle going that's not fun.
Definitely, yeah, that would be fun with Carbuncle. I want to try it. I feel like Lilty.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have to see how, for instance, the wind one, is that Selkie?
Yeah, Selk, yeah.
Yeah, Selk or whatever it is. Like that in mono wind, that might be really good. If you're in mono wind, you can run 15 backups now. You can run low summons, just your 3 Diabolos and maybe some Chaos Walkers. And then you've got a ton of forwards. Like I think I was running 26, 28 forwards in my mono wind, and that thing is attacking, and on the attack, you're drawing a card. Yeah. Like that could be pretty good. But I think they're just really fair. So, ultimately,
we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the worst one is actually the Uke. I think that's the worst one because it's not when it's blocked or blocked. It's only when you block with it. Was it?
No, it was
only one way. Yeah. They have to block.
That's the harder one to fulfill, though. Than you blocking. Yeah.
So that Uke, I think, is the worst one out of all of those. I think Clavat in limited. Actually, I think Clavat is the best one in limited.
Yeah.
Clavat, because it's a 3-drop that will trade with 9Ks. When you swing, you get to deal 1K, and then it pumps itself up to 8K, right? So it's going to trade with 9Ks.
Yeah.
I think Peter was running 5 Clavats. Peter won because of that Clavat. I mean, I don't think he'll admit it or anything, but he was playing Clavats, and every time he was swinging through, Miles would not block because it's a 9K. It's a pseudo 9K. And he wasn't willing to lose Livia.
Yeah.
Over a Clavat, right?
Yeah,
so,
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah,
it's fair.
So, I think Clavat is actually the best out of them, personally, I think, and Uke is probably the worst.
In
my view.
Overall or just in sealed? Or unlimited?
And I think I can say this solemnly in both.
Well,
yeah, I think. I mean, I think Lilty is probably right up there. I think maybe it's better. I don't know. I would still say Clavat for now.
I think
for me personally. Fire just never. No one plays fire. That's the problem.
I think Uke at least gets. I think Uke at least gets the advantage of being able to with Zalera now and Mattias. Like, you can put your opponent in a situation where they're going to lose. So, you block the 2, 3, 5, 7, and then you'd be like, oh, I'll go ahead and I block. You get to discard a card, and then I'm going to go ahead and.
No, they have to block you.
No, Uke is both directions.
No, it's only one way.
Yeah.
Uke is only one way.
Oh, that's block you.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's worse. That's why I'm saying it's worse.
Mattias and constructed. Fine.
Yeah. I mean, you can run Zed if you want to block an attack and make someone discard, but then you're paying a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. It looks cool. It looks cool.
They
all do.
I was trying to do something with Zed when I was trying to do Ice Earth. and then you have Hecht and Yojimbo with the Zed, so that you can deal damage, and they have to discard.
Yeah.
So I get to kill stuff, and
cool.
they discard. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
It's a 5-drop, right? Like 5-drop
Yeah.
without enter the field abilities now in the meta is just a bad card.
Yeah.
It's just shit. Unless you're like
That's fair.
crazy cards like maybe Arden might be the only one that's kind of iffy.
Yeah, well, and then Earthfire's got Barret, and you're just dropping it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
Barret's
you're hasting it, or like the third one will get through, and now we've got the Azure Dragon that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do something similar.
Yeah.
Barret actually can come down for 4.
Right, of course. Yeah.
See, so
Yeah.
like you can lower the cost. It's no
Yeah.
longer it's a pseudo 4K, right?
Yeah.
A 4-drop, I mean. So Barret's pretty good.
Yeah, Barret's good.
Yeah. Actually, I had a couple questions, and we can probably do it here. Alex, I actually wanted to talk about how you come up with your article content and stuff like that. When do you write your stuff? Where do you get the ideas to do it? Do you just playing cards like, oh, I'm gonna write about this, and just write random shit? Is that how you do it, or?
Yeah.
Do you write at school when you're teaching your kids?
No, I don't.
Like,
Unfortunately
hey,
not.
go watch this video while I write my Mysidia post blogs.
Yeah. You know what? There's honestly, I'm super busy at work because I'm a teacher, but I'm also the athletic director at my school, so that's another job all on top of what I'm already doing. So I don't do much at work. There have been a few times where I'm teaching like an earth science class, and I put a documentary on, and like we were getting spoilers for Opus 9, and I'm just like messaging Phil like, oh hey, did you see this card?
Some bad concoction.
And I have like a pen out and some tests I'm marking, but I'm really have my phone out and I'm looking at these spoilers. But yeah, so mostly I try to just whenever I get inspiration to write, then I'll obviously write. But otherwise, I do have like a lot of themes that I'm going on. I have a lot of stuff in the back burner that I want to work through. For example, like trying to make decks work with cards that no one's playing. So one that I did was with the Shuyan 5-cost water forward, and that was actually one of my most well-received articles. But it's really hard to make a semi-competitive deck with bad cards. So
Who would have thunk?
yeah, so that one's I'm still working on a bit. But it's so otherwise I try to write once a week for sure, and sometimes it's really hard to find the time, but I'm starting to do some more research. I'm going to be doing some more meta-analysis stuff than I think I did a bit at the beginning of Opus 8, and then I stopped. But I think people really like that stuff. That's the stuff people click on right away. So I've been putting together like some Excel sheets and some like tracking stuff so that I can really get on top of that for Opus 9. So you guys can look forward to that. But yeah, otherwise I'm just trying to write once a week, and and just try to be consistent, because I think that a lot of the written content that's coming out is like far and few between. So if I can just be that thing that's always in people's ear, then they're gonna check in with me.
Eventually.
Cool. Cool. I asked you so that we can steal your ideas and make Live from Midgar better.
Yes.
We're gonna run you out of business.
Well,
so that's my goal.
You know what? You guys do such a good job on this podcast, though. I listen to you guys almost every week. Whenever I'm in my car, and honestly, you guys have, I would say, the best production values out of any of FFTCG podcasts, and I listen to a few. And you guys have a really, really good rapport going on. So, and now sitting here in this chair, I got to say that it's not easy to just be in this chair and doing this thing, and you're doing it every week. So I got to give you guys props. You're doing a really good job.
I'm blushing. I'm blushing now. All right. Well, thank you. I look forward to a lot of your posts as with Neil. I'm sure all of us, we look forward to it. We love reading it. Like I said, I read the wall one, and I was just laughing at your face. I was like, what an idiot. You're an idiot. But, whatever. We all have opinions. I still think that wall is garbage, but.
Well, I was actually like, I pulled the Mayas today. I traded my full art.
Yeah. I did your full art Maya.
Yeah, man.
I give you a good deal.
You gave me
Actually, I don't want people to think that I steal cards. That I think about it. We made a trade. It was a good deal for Alex.
It was more than a great deal. That was fine. That was nice. But I was just like, I was sitting here with this man, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this like haste, Mobius, this is going to be really good. I can just haste my light wall, and then I read the light wall again, and I'm like, right, there's a freaking restriction on it.
Yeah.
So this doesn't work like at all. So
Well, you can still play that light wall, right?
yeah, well, and
Because if you play the dougal, it produces
Yes.
water.
Yeah.
Oh.
So water, and then if you splash the lightning with earth or whatever, then you can play
yeah,
that wall then, right?
Yeah,
I'm,
it would
I'm
be.
forcing it right now, but
Yeah. It's a lot
Well,
of work for
the wall sucks. That's the conclusion of it.
But now you can play Livia, right?
yeah. Well, and I think lightning earth is going to be a heavily experimented with build.
Yeah.
This, I think that's coming. I think a lot of people have that on their radar. So we're going to see it. Whether it's going to work, I don't know.
Lightning
We're gonna
Earth,
we're gonna-
non-science.
Not science. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna for sure.
Yeah, with the Warrior of Darkness. you were
Yeah,
saying?
well, I already have my mono earth, full mono earth, no lightning backups, but I put the 3 Albas, 3 Dianas into it, and then like an Asthenian, and then just have those Dougals, right? And then you
Yeah.
have your Shantoto and whatever, and like that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna test that out probably this week, but
Okay.
I think just in general people are gonna be trying Lightning Earth.
Yeah.
Lightning Earth.
Yeah.
Lightning Earth. All
I
right.
thi- I
Well,
think
we look forward to seeing that. We'll see.
Mhm.
I hope so. Yeah.
I know Miles is actually already experimenting with Lightning Earth right now. He's probably playing it back there. I saw. Yeah, I think Alba and what's the other chick's name?
Diana.
Diana.
They're just fucking so good.
They're
Oh my
insane.
God,
It's
yeah.
just fucking amazing,
Oh my
right?
God, yeah.
Diana just comes down as 1 drop, and then you play the Alba and just dull shit, and
It's
Alba
always-
gains haste, and is you can't choose it. It's just, oh my god.
And her BFF Alua, just like, man, I'm serious.
It's always a risk, right? You always have to keep it like
Yeah.
like something like Adele or something where it can
You
just
can-
always come down and just win the game on the spot. It's really scary to play against.
Yeah, the Warrior of Darkness cards are really, really good.
Mhm.
What about you, Phil? What are you messing around with?
What am I messing around? I haven't had a lot of chance to build a lot of things. I'm really excited for Mega Sisters, the Mega Sisters.
Oh yeah.
Because I love Vanille, and I was like, okay, this is like Vanille, but I don't have to run 8 cards to run Vanille. Like, that's so cool. And then the last time I can just filter my deck out and stuff. That and the Porum, the 2-drop Porum.
Oh,
Which,
yeah, that's
people are
great.
really
Oh
people
my
are really
God.
divided on that, eh? Like,
Yeah.
some people say it's terrible. Like it's gonna be like Turbo Ice, like Turbo Discard.
Oh,
but
terrible,
everybody
terrible
agrees
because
it's
it's gonna be
good.
bad.
Terrible for the terrible for the meta. Terrible for
Yeah,
the meta,
yeah, yeah.
not a
Whoa
terrible
there.
card.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to hear this. As soon as you said
Let me
it's
just back
terrible.
this Terrible, yeah. But I don't know. That looks like fun. That does look like fun.
Yeah, I've been
Lena,
experimenting with that one. It's a hit or miss with me.
Yeah.
It's-
Experimenting with that.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone is, I'm sure, but
yeah.
I've been experimenting so I can see it for myself, right? So,
Yeah, that hurt.
yeah.
Was it
I played
6 Famfrits in a game or something. Oh my
So
god,
are you?
it felt so bad.
Yeah,
I
so-
played Neil against one of my. I did ice water, with Porum, the Famfrits. Shelk brings in Porum. If Porum dies, Lena will bring in Porum. I'm making my opponent discard as well. I'm
Yeah.
making him struggle. I'm playing the Edwards and Sarah and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I had no way to clear the break zone. So,
Yeah.
like, legit, if
Missed
there was a Famfrit in the break zone,
Dragon.
so
So the deck that he was
the deck
running-
that I was running, I ran mono wind, I ran mono fire, and I ran ice earth, Flantoto,
Yeah.
and I went hard discard, and it still didn't matter because that
Didn't
pour if he gets the Porum down, all of his Famfrits are the goddamn break zone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so he'll just be like, I either am just going to take a point of damage every turn and hope that I can freeze it out somehow, or like I have to block it, or he chumps with it, and it's just like, I've got a Famfrit again. Like I just couldn't. It was so hard to keep forwards on the board. It was utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, and the
sounds
thing
like
about the card that deck was is like I don't care too much if I don't have forwards and I'm not pushing as much because I play the Porum and the Porum was doing work because it might be because it's early in the meta
Yeah, we're
and so
still
people
figuring
don't know
out how to play against it.
So
Yeah.
so Neil would not block when I was attacking with Porum, and I played John. John would not block that Porum, right?
it's-
So I was just going. It's a 2K.
Yeah.
It's a 2K.
Getting through
It's
for
a
damage.
fucking 2K doing like 6 points of damage to my opponent.
But the problem with it was and it's probably still because it's early in the meta, but it's just it felt so oppressive because it was one of those like if I block it and I have 2 or less guys, I am asking to have a board wipe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was just easier to have the point of damage hit and just have that constantly going as compared to just giving him the chance to do it, just because I couldn't go wide enough to prevent a double Famfrit. So it was like if you had the 6 cost in there.
I kept on killing your stuff,
Yeah, and every time you killed it, you'd bring it back, and it was just like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? Like, legitimately, like, okay, go ahead and hit me for a point of damage. It's the least... It's like the worst thing that can happen, or the least worst thing.
Yeah, it's the lesser of the two evils kind of thing, right? It's like, do
I
I lose my board or do I just take one hit? You know, but it piles up after
Yes,
a
it
while, right?
does.
Yeah.
So
I had fun with it.
Sorry, do you guys think that 5CP Yuna is going to make a comeback?
Yes.
Because of
I
stuff like
100%
that,
think
like
so.
the stuff that you guys are describing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it seems like it answers a lot of things. It's just kind of hard to play out.
I think if you don't play if you don't play 5CP Yuna and you mirror with somebody, you're losing. If they play the 5CP Yuna.
But one of the things that's going to be so frustrating, like you're casting 2 CP Famfrits, right?
2
like,
CP, yeah, and
Then 5CP for
and 5 CP.
Yeah, but like how that extra CP, if you're going to pay that for your Famfrits, that's going to add up. Like 3 CP is way harder to.
Oh, sorry,
I actually didn't play the 2-drop Yuna, right? I didn't get to play the 2-drop.
There were a couple times where he did,
and I was
and it's
just hard casting 3-drops and 6-drops,
Yeah.
and I was able to win.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, because Water's got at least a card advantage as well. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to play 1 and discard 1, or you're playing the 3 that messes with your stuff. But you've got enough card draw and other stuff. But that's the other thing too is about the fact that if you can keep the Porm consistently coming up, it honestly doesn't matter what your backup line is doing.
Yeah.
Because you can stall the turn to kill it. You can stall the turn to kill 2 of their forwards or 1 of their forwards and take the trade, because then you can just wait for the next round and just get another backup and go. I mean, all you have to do, you make them play cards to face you, and you just defensively sit back there and kill them. I have not, at this point, I don't know of a deck that can put enough pressure on to get through that yet.
That just sounds awful.
It is absolutely 100%
So it
awful.
might be.
I expect we will see a ban for Opus 10 with something with this. I feel like, unless something radically changes.
Famfrit
The
banned.
one really good thing that I
thinking the same
noticed,
thing.
Dude, that'd be wild.
one thing I really noticed that was really good was I was playing Scholar too, and when I play the,
God.
so I played Lena Porum, and then Lena Porum, and then it passes and stuff like that. It comes back to me, and I would pop the Scholar to bring the Lena back into my hand, and then I would Famfrit, and then I would get the Famfrit back into my hand, the 6-drop Famfrit, right? So it wipes 2, and I have the Lena back into my hand, and I can play the Lena next turn to bring the Porum back also.
to get the Famfrit back.
So-
I'm telling you, man, it is not fun.
Jesus.
No.
So there's a lot of creative plays that you can do to recurring that Porum,
Yeah.
and if you play against a deck like this that's just abusing the fuck out of it, I think Mist Dragon, Hearthfigure, Yuna, these cards will see play. They will have to see
A little
play.
bit of Halicarnassus.
Halicarnassus might be another one.
Phil
that
likes
would
that one.
definitely-
One drop
I love
Cuckoo.
it.
Phil does a lot of work with that card.
I love Hallie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One drop Cuckoo coming in.
Oh,
You
yeah,
see it?
that one's
Yeah,
really
one
cool.
drop Cuckoo.
That
and
one's
stuff
really
like-
cool.
So I think these cards that normally we haven't seen a lot of play will definitely come
Get
back.
pushed back. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that Opus 9 has done. I know that there's been a lot of talk about how not great this set is. I just feel like a lot of the cards that have been here are opening up new lines of play, and they're creating synergies that are warping things around them. And I think that there might not be anything that's overly powerful. I mean, aside from Porum, 6-drop Famfrit, anything that's overly powerful. But I think that there are definitely some new, interesting synergies that are going to take some colors and decks in a direction that I don't think people are prepared for.
Yeah, no, I think
exciting.
people, they called it a little too early to say that the set wasn't good enough or that it wasn't making a big impact on the meta, because you can't really know
Before playing, yeah.
I think in a vacuum, when you're looking at certain cards, when you look at a card and then you just look at just that card, it's a little bit harder, especially early on when you just look at it, right? It's really hard to see what's going to combo with, all this stuff. But I think people now are able to experiment with it and stuff, and they're really seeing how really good I think the set is. It really changes everything. A lot of things. I think the meta's going to definitely shift.
I mean, look at all the Arden hate that happened. I mean, there were a lot of people, and there's still a little bit out there, but that card is solid a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Isn't it only our meta that really likes the Arden? Outside of our meta, like our local meta, I don't think Arden has a lot of love.
I don't know. Yeah, but I mean,
I think John Smith is like the sole proprietor who pushed
but he
Arden
does-
all the way
he
through.
does so much work. It's ridiculous, man. That thing.
Well, he made me want
Ugh.
to try it, and now
Yeah.
I run a one of in my Earth decks, and
Yeah.
it honestly, like, you identify the matchups where it's safe, and you slam it down, and it can win you the game, like right
Yeah.
off that play. And now we can search it, right?
Yes.
Now we can search right for it. We can do it with Cabranth. We can do it with
Regis.
Regis.
And
And
Kolka.
Kolka. I guess we always
Yeah.
had that too. But either
Yeah.
way, like, there's so many
Like,
ways now.
Regis is
Yeah.
better than
to,
Kolka.
Well, I know, but like, how many ways can you get to the Arden now?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But no one else plays it, right, in Vancouver? Like, you've played that one, but
And Yuta.
Yuta, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yuta does
Our
some wacky
Yuta. You
stuff.
guys have a Yuta as well.
Yeah,
I
we
hear.
have
Yeah.
a U.
Yuta.
Yuta.
Da, and you guys are Ta.
No,
No,
we're
we're-
Yuta.
You guys are the Da, and then we have the Ta.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that.
I don't.
Here.
So to be honest, like I haven't had a lot of opportunity to converse with the guy.
Either of them.
It's a good save.
Oh, either of them actually. Yeah. So
Yeah, or you just been
Alright.
quiet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good save,
that
dude.
is
Nice. Yeah.
they're one and the same. One in Canada, and then
They're
one
one and
here.
the same.
You guys have similar names. You guys.
All
are
right,
the same.
Yuta, when you see this, you guys are one and the same.
Yeah. Well, he won't watch this.
I don't know. He'll watch. We're here.
Yeah.
He
so
likes us.
yeah.
You guys sure
He will.
about that?
Yeah.
I mean, after watching this,
I think that there's also going to be a spot for some more targeting decks to sneak in where Dadaluma would have shut them down. I went 3-1 on Thursday with Mono Lightning, where I basically took your standard Mono Lightning and then stripped all the high cost cards and some of the backups, and I'm running like 28 forwards. I'm running the Wars of Darkness. I'm running a lot of Doll, a lot of Haste, a lot of unique names so that I don't draw doubles. I can play everything that I draw. And I was closing out games very, very quickly. And then this morning I added in the Beknami, the new...
Beknami.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
like, he is so
Yeah.
awesome.
So
I
annoying.
added in Maya. And then all of a sudden you have these turns where you can go Beknami into Alba and you can dull two things. And then you play, or if you have Maya out, you enter combat, you're dulling a
Yeah.
third thing. And
Yeah.
I just think that, like, it could open a new type of aggro if we don't see enough. I mean, it depends. It depends on a little bit about this Famfrit stuff. Like the 6 CP Famfrit's going to do really well against that, and same with things like Fina Val 4 and maybe if we see chaos and with some board clears, then we could see that too. But I think that we're going to see more targeted stuff coming into the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Neil, what about you? What have you been thinking of brewing and stuff? I know you haven't gotten to start on that because you were organizing all your shit, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
spent the last 24 hours, 48 hours organizing all my crap. It's all organized now.
That's good.
Good job.
Yay!
Yeah.
And then I gave Phil a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
it
man.
was like,
Thanks, man.
now I don't have to carry them around anymore.
Dude,
but-
those are good problems to have, though. Like,
Yeah,
you have so
absolutely,
much stuff to
absolutely.
organize.
For sure.
Like too many cards.
Oh my god, commons and rares, the fuck. But now that they're all taken care of, I have really been on a Taxes deck. I want to build two different types, and I want to build an Ice Earth that runs Lucaicus or I don't remember what his name is.
Monster
The Monster
Searcher.
Searcher. You know,
He's a doctor.
What?
he plays
a
on
doctor.
TV.
He got a
Dog.
PhD.
Yeah, so looking at him with like a Flanditz and like Vayne
Oh, yeah, that's good.
and
Yeah.
a couple of those cards. I'm also looking at because of the Dougals, looking at Ice Wind.
Yeah.
With something like
Focus of ice, splashing wind in.
yeah, like an Ice discard deck, like not full on turbo, but like in a heavy bend for that, and then running cards like Riku and Layak,
Oh, wow.
and maybe Y'shtola for some protection and Zidane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 3-drop Wind
so
Zidane
good.
is the best discard. It's not ice, and it's the best discard card in the game.
Yeah.
You get to
Please.
see the
Yeah.
hand.
And I
so-
can run Mion in that deck too. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean
Yeah.
there's a lot of upside for like the targeted discard, and then because being able to play that Zidane gives you the ability to see what's in their hand, and yes, you can take the one, but now I also know whether with your 3 or 4 cards, should I play my Sephiroth? Should I just play a Sarah? Should I just try and chip you? So like it gives you that information that before has not been super super tight. So I think it could open up some interesting lines of play, and then Riku Mill,
Yeah. To make sure that you get that Dougal, would you, are you thinking about running the Sarah, the 5-drop Sarah?
I'm contemplating it's just, I mean, because you can get the Sarah off the Mog or off the Moogle. So I mean, you can get it. It's just, I don't know, man. It's
because the one biggest problem I remember running Earth Ice, and it was off the idea of Vanille. Vanille, you know how if you flip over and you guess the number right, like you can break a doll forward.
Yeah.
That 4-drop Vanille, right?
Yeah.
So I was running the 2-drop Yule. That lets you it's just a 0-cost action ability. You can flip it over and you can look at it, right? And then you play Vanilla and go 4.
Yeah, or whatever.
I break it or whatever
Yeah.
the number card was. So I was really wanting to build that deck, but the problem was when I did not get a Yule, which can happen even if I'm running 3, it would, I can't run the Vanilla and it shuts kind of the whole system down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, if you don't get that Moogle, it kind of shuts the wind down a little bit because you're only splashing it in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if.
I mean, I like the idea. I mean, I guess it does enable a little bit because if you've got a little bit of the activation stuff or a little bit, there's a few things that you can do. I don't know. I also like the idea of shulking in Paul. I think that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. Just you get to discard a card, and if you don't do anything about it, I'm going to punch you for 6 more.
Yeah.
Yay!
Dude, I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be interesting because I think that there's a couple of options that really haven't been explored because just the base synergy wasn't there, and with the consistency that you can find the Dougal now, and then just I think there's something to be had there. I don't know if it's tier 1, but there's definitely something to be had.
I think those other Moogles are good too. The buff by 1,000 power.
They are also very good.
You're gonna bluff that before combat, and then use that CP later when they don't block. And you can even just run it as a one of, and then you've got your Sarah searching your Dougal. They're searching your power boosting Moogle, and then you've also got Mog Mobius, who's I think is one of the best backups. He's one of my favorites because just in a pinch in late game, you know your deck really well. You know exactly the forward that's going to turn it around, and he just searches it for you every time. So, you could even, and since if she's an expert, like you can run just one of her, and I think it's something that to be played around with for sure.
Yeah, and if you get her, I mean, I guess that gives you the extra value too, because if you go heavy Moogle backup, there's at least enough. Before that, I always felt like with Sarah, I always felt like if I wasn't running Earth, I was doing it wrong, just because there wasn't enough. I mean, it was wind. So you had Earth Wind was kind of where the Moogles lied, and it always felt bad playing her in a wind deck. I don't think it's going to feel as bad now, but you get those buff cards like the buff the ice card. You get the buff. Is there a buff an Earth Moogle or a buff a wind Moogle?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought we were talking Ice Earth too. Yeah, no,
but I mean
there's no wind buff Moogle. I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean
there is no wind Moogle.
I
mean,
other than the ones we already have.
Yeah, where we have.
But now you can. I mean, you can fill out. You can have a more diverse backup line with Moogles. So that Sarah attacking actually becomes relevant now.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 new ice Moogle. One's a Dougal, one's not, right? Yep. And then you have the Searcher Moogle, the 2-drop wind one that searches, right? And then you have the 3-drop Moogle, right? That searches for Sarah and other like Orphan or whatever. So I think there's plenty of Moogles there that you can do 3.
The 4 CP forward. Great against Veritas too.
Yeah, that's
good. That's a really solid.
The 4 CP forward.
Wind forward Moogle.
Wind forward.
The one that draw a card when you play it.
And draw a card.
And then draw a card when it dies.
Yeah. That's a solid play and a good search. Like even as a one of and then you can go out early with it, and they play a Veritas, and you're fine.
Yeah. In your Ice Wind, do you run the FFCC backup package?
There are so many different things to consider right now. I mean, it legit is hard to figure out which direction you want to go with it. I mean, I think there's 2 or 3 different ways to go, and I have no idea which one works.
Wind is so good. Like we were originally talking about, we're just gonna splash it in, and then we're like, look at all these wind cards, just put them all in there. It's a wind deck.
I've now turned it into a wind splash ice deck. Like,
Yeah, but like no, it's scary. Like imagine mono ice that can play Diablos. Like that's terrifying.
I mean, and that was one of the things that I like about the mono, like the Ice Earth deck right now, is running heavy, like Flandit. Is like I can run that Shantoto, which is a hard counter, but with that, with the friggin' Dougal now and tapping that wind, you could trade out maybe the Cecils for like Diablos. Or you could trade out the Cecils for Zidanes. There are a couple of different directions you can go, and maybe you're in 3 colors at this point, but like your color fix is on, and it should be pretty easy. I think. I think Ice, Splash, Earth, or Wind has gotten much stronger this set.
Yeah, the summons are nice. I really like. I think Chaos Walker has some nice synergy, like in Ice naturally. Just like if you're discarding their hand and they don't have cards in their hand, they can't play a Ford out.
Absolutely.
I really like that. And if you Zidane stuff and you take a look. And just like if they only have 1 or 2 cards, like the odds go down, as you're discarding them.
Hey, Phil, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So after you've taken a look at someone's hand, and they've now like taken their hand away, is it proper etiquette to ask to look at their hand again?
No comment.
No, you don't.
Why has Phil done that before?
That's like a.
I'm spoiled.
That's a normal. Well, when we play test.
Yeah, we play test too much, and Alex is too nice to me.
You're like, yeah, this
so
is what I had.
I get really excited when I Zidane, and I just like I want to discard that immediately, and I'm like, oh wait, I have to look at the rest of the cards in their hand. But most people don't let me do that.
I don't know. I've seen a couple people. I don't know how. I've seen a couple of what is it? I think it's Steve Dolman over from YYT. I've seen him do a couple of his games. I'm not sure probably not in the tournament setting, but at least semi
locals.
Locals at least. If someone's discarded his card, he usually plays the cards that have been revealed. He plays them face up.
Yeah, there's people
and like
who
he just leaves them face up.
Yeah.
And just
I do.
and
That's
just
so
continues.
nice. That's
so
nice
yeah,
people,
I don't know.
It's open information at that point.
Yeah.
They're being nice. I think.
They don't have to though.
Yeah.
They don't.
Oh yeah, of course not.
They do not.
I will say this: if you're doing that at like finals at a Crystal Cup, like
No,
you're
I mean,
like,
I don't think you
damn, like the balls on this guy is
Yeah.
like, shoot, like this guy's like hella confident that he's gonna win or something. It's like, damn.
Let me play this. Let me play this new Cadet Zero deck with like my 6K bonuses, and let me put dice on them for you to remind you of how big they actually are.
Yeah, that deuce really messed me up.
Oh man.
Yes.
Because like
Oh, man.
I'm looking at the 1K boost and like I'm just not even registering that it's giving a boost at first, and then I got used to it, and then they played a cadet, and now that's a 2K boost.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
some
my
get
gosh.
2, some get 1.
Yeah.
The deuce doesn't get any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's hard to remove in limited.
It
Like
is.
depending on where
you
you're in.
You don't want to use Seek
Yeah,
on it. You don't want to use Emperor Gestalt on it.
I did, and I used an Emperor Gestalt on it because it was that much of a problem. Like it was.
It actually no, it backfired. Like when I ran the Earth Moogles that also tap for lightning. So I had the 3 CP Odins. So I just used that as a combat
yeah.
trick. So like their cadets would like randomly lose 2K in combat. I just break their thing.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
That's definitely good. Yeah.
So that was really nice. I kind of liked it because of that.
Yeah.
It's definitely probably going to be really bad and constructed.
The Odin
No.
or the
one drop
the
deuce.
one drop. Yeah.
We can hope.
I mean, the backup deuce for Cadet is just really, really good.
Yeah,
Play
the
the thing
backup is
down
also
and
due.
4 higher can't block.
Yeah.
I really want cadets to work now. Like I'm hoping. Ace is really cool.
The new Ace
Wow.
is
Yeah,
very good.
they
The
got
5
really
drop
nice.
ace.
cool, right?
Huh?
I said I got 3 aces now. So
Oh yeah.
thanks, buddy.
Got a foil legend out of the draft today, and
Good
then
job.
got a whopping one wind 7, and that was it. And it was my only wind card. I had no way to play it. Like legit, it was just. I can grab it for CP if I get lucky when I flip my top 7. Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, some information. We have the last local qualifier in the Northwest. That will be next week on Saturday, and that is going to be in Portland at Epic Gaming. I don't think we're gonna have any more, right? So this is for people who don't like travel like crazy, like those like Meta Potion guys and stuff like that, who only kind of stick around in the local area. This is gonna be it, literally.
Yeah. Well, the Wave 3 has nothing for the
For
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And there's stores that, from what I understand, have had multiple now, and
Yeah.
I just feel like this is a really strong part of the North America. Like I think.
Like to
It's-
think
it
so.
has
I'd
to
like to think so.
There's actually a good number of people here. Like, for instance, the Water Crystal Cup was a lot bigger than the Fire one, and I think it
Yeah.
actually what is it? The total number, it beat a couple of other Crystal Cup events, right? There's a lot of people
Seems
here.
like a big one.
But we got. I'm just gonna say I feel gypped. I think
Mm.
we should have gotten at least one more Wave 3. If it's not here, it should have been somewhere in Portland or one in Vancouver or something. This area, I think, has a lot of players, a lot of people who want to play, who wanted to qualify, but did not get a chance. We're not going to have any more chances.
I think it's part of the split. I feel like we got a mid-range one for Wave 1, and then we got a very early one for Vancouver for Wave 2, and then a late one. So I feel like instead of having all three, we just kind of got,
Yeah, well, I would like to see, like, if they're able to get it, like, the total number of, like, people in, like, SoCal and North California, right? And see how many, like, total players there are. And I think we probably not be that bad comparative to the SoCal numbers, I think. Yeah, we have, like, the third biggest, like, local qualifiers here
Wow.
so far.
That's the
So
one
I
we couldn't
don't...
make it to.
I mean, yeah. Well, I missed all three qualifiers too. How's that fair to me? Because I have personal plans that conflict with the dates. So,
yeah, well...
but I mean, part of it's a little bit, where we're situated. Because I know that talking to a lot of players in the States, they're in a very central location, and they're driving, 4 hours in every direction, because on all sides of them there's local qualifiers going on, and we're kind of tucked away in a corner. We'd have to go pretty far to get to the next one,
Yeah.
like maybe Boise or something, Idaho.
Which is
They're not.
Still-
They're part of Northwest, and
Still
they didn't get one.
They didn't get one.
They didn't get one for Wave
I
3.
mean, they
no.
got one
They
for-
got one, but
yeah.
not Wave 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah.
that's still a drive. That's
That's
like
still
what,
a drive.
7 or 8 hours. or
Yeah,
something.
like it's a significant.
But
That's a lot.
that's
Yeah.
but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people would be willing to go to that had there been a Wave 3. There have been plenty of people to go into that
I see.
direction, into that
Yeah.
region,
Yeah.
and I think we should have gotten another one.
Yeah. Well,
That's
we'll
fair.
just
I think it's fair.
keep turning up in numbers and keep showing them how good we are. Let's
Buy
let's
more shit.
place more in CCs and
Yeah, Phil.
and it's
Drive the
Yeah.
purchase, and we'll get the next waves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
need to keep on buying.
And
I-
you
that
guys
seems
just
very optimistic.
yeah.
you guys keep on doing what you guys are doing, right? Like making content, making good content, bringing attention to us. You know.
Yeah. Just
So
buy
good.
more stuff. That's what all
Yeah.
Square Enix cares
Yeah,
about.
'cause
Just
I don't
buy
wanna-
stuff.
I don't want to drive 7 or 8 hours with Alex.
Step one:
2 hours is
Yeah.
enough. Honestly.
spend your money. It will work out.
Yeah.
Except for Phil, he doesn't have any money. People have to give him cards.
Yeah. That's,
Well,
I'm
he's
good
a
with that.
he's a college student, so he's a
Yeah,
he's
I'm
a
good-
young Phil here.
I'm happy with this arrangement. Let's keep doing what we're doing here.
I get free stuff. Anyways, I do believe I don't know people who are going to be watching this are wanting to go anything, but we do know that John Smith and Ryan Chen are going to be going to local qualifiers in Epic Gaming.
Yep.
So good luck to them. And if anyone are wanting to go, hook up with them, and maybe you guys can carpool or whatever. That's all up to you. But they are going to be going, and good luck to them. I hope they win. They're both great players. John
Yeah.
Smith is a very creative deck builder. And I've actually taken one of the decks from him, the Darkness Within, and I've just gone away with it. And it's like, it's mine now. So, yeah.
At the very least, we have to watch these guys because Epic Gaming puts on a really good stream, and
Yeah. They
we're
certainly
going to
do.
be able to
They
get flood that stream chat, and they're going to be on stream for sure, and we can support them. So
Yeah,
definitely.
Fun. Fun.
And one last thing, at Geeky Villain, it was announced during a pre-release event, the midnight pre-release event. But this season, Geeky Villain, it's an event. It's midnight
The
release
midnight
event.
release. It's not.
Oh,
a
it was not
pre-release.
pre-release. Sorry, midnight release event. Sorry, midnight release event. It was announced there. Geeky Villain is going to be sponsoring the top 3 players of the season to go to nationals. Of course, you have to qualify, right? But if you qualify and you're going, Geeky Villain will be paying $500 to first place, and then 2, and then 1. 5 for first, 200 for second, 100 for third. Edward has $1 to contribute. So we'll see how this works out. But supposedly it's going to happen. I'm sure it will. But it is a sponsorship, so I hope a lot of people do come, like Ray Chow, who has qualified for a national, Peter Kim, who has qualified for nationals, Jeff, who also qualified for nationals. I hope they come, and other people who will have an opportunity to qualify by going to the Dark Crystal Cup, or John Smith or Ryan Chen or other people who will be able to qualify by going to the local qualifiers at Epic Gaming. They'll all be eligible to play and go for that sponsorship. The only stipulation is that you play with like a Geeky Villain mat and wear like the Geeky Villain T-shirt
merch.
You know, wear the
Advertise.
Get it tattooed on you.
Yeah, grow the brand.
Like
tattoo right on the forehead.
That's a reasonable spot to put it.
Only for for $500. Yeah.
500, 200, or 100.
Okay.
So, anyways, Peter Kim, I believe, is ahead of is number 1. Maybe he got first today, so he'll definitely be getting 4 points. To start it off, I don't know what the rankings were last week, but it's collective. At the end of September, the first, second, and third will get this money. Money. All right. So that's all the information that I have. Does anyone have anything else they wanted to contribute to the videos before we sign off?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say thank you for having me and Phil on. You know, this is a ton of fun and kind of something that I wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm always listening.
we're
right?
popular.
So
Fulfilled
With Alex.
So
dreams.
this is a goal. So now I've got a ton of like material, so I can start my own podcast and kind of boot you guys out of the game.
I'll kill you. No, I'm kidding. I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
Cute. You guys are adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's on
All right.
now. Yeah, it's clean. We bonded over a trade today.
Yeah, we bonded over
Yeah.
the trade. I got the Maya full art that I really wanted, and I just gave him all
I got
all
like
these legends.
200 legendaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was give or take 180, but yeah, but about 200. Yeah,
Plus or minus.
yeah, plus or minus 180.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us at Live from Midgar. This has been Steve.
This has been Neil.
It's been Phil.
And I'm Alex.
I hope to see you again.